a number of policies still to be agreeing on, in particular when it comes to energy. You've got a number of Liberals and a number of Nationals at odds over nuclear, net zero by 2050. Can you work forward on an agreement to take to the next election?
Yeah, well, look, I think so, Danica, and we don't need to rush into this. We've got 3 years, but, I mean, they're big issues. I mean, the one thing we've already agreed through the coalition agreement is to lift the moratorium on nuclear, or that would be our policy. I mean, we know that we're going to have nuclear submarines in 10 years or so, and we have a nuclear facility at Lucas Height. So to lift the moratorium on nuclear, we think is the bare minimum, so that's good. Look, net zero 2050 is going to be an issue that both parties are looking to review. I mean, obviously there's going to be differences of opinion on that. So we'll undergo a review process and revisit that policy. I'm looking forward to that review and that discussion.
Well, just on net zero 2050, I mean, the reality is that there are a number of moderates within the Liberal Party who do not want that emissions target scrapped because they're looking to take back seats from independents, a number of inner city seats, as opposed to the Nationals. How will you get through that policy?
Well, look, we'll just have, I mean, we're going to undergo our own review as well. So, look, we will take in new data. I mean, we're going to commission people to look at this and have independent look at it, review the economic ramifications of it, especially in the regions. And look, it'll be a discussion and it'll be an ongoing discussion until we land somewhere. These subjects aren't easy. There's obviously always a divergence of opinion, but that's what politics is about. So we've got to land somewhere that keeps our members of our party happy, then the communities we represent. But it's a big issue. I'm really looking forward to the review process that we do and the new data and information that we get in to land somewhere.
Well, let's talk about the new shadow cabinet now, a number of winners and losers. But I want to ask you firstly about Jacinta Nampijinpa Price, who's effectively been demoted. She's been handed the defence industry portfolio. It sees her out of the shadow cabinet. She loses Indigenous affairs. Has her defection from the Nationals failed?
Well, look, that's a question for Jacinta. I'm not going to ask, I'm not going to answer for her. But look, I think it's good that she's spreading, into a different portfolio, which I think will be great for her. She's a very talented woman, so I think she'll embrace the new portfolio in the sense it's different from the one she had. I think that's great news. But look, she made a decision which disappointed us as Nats. But look, you'd have to ask her that question.
Nationals Barnaby Joyce and Matt Canavan, as well as Michael McCormack, were left out of the front bench. How much of that has to do with their commentary about David Littleproud's leadership?
Well, look, again, I'm not going to go necessarily into that. I mean, that's David's decision and he has his reasons for that. I know the two of the people that replaced, obviously Barnaby was in shadow cabinet, Michael was in the outer ministry. So the two people that replaced them are very much newer members to Parliament. We have Ross Goodell, who's a new senator, who's going into the shadow cabinet, who'll make a great contribution. And Pat Conahan has been promoted also to Assistant Treasurer. We're really excited as Nats to take up an economic portfolio as Assistant Treasurer. But look, Barnaby and Michael, look, we're a pretty small team, the Nats, and we're close colleagues, and I regard both of them as friends. And look, they have made amazing contributions in their parliamentary careers. I mean, they've both been Deputy Prime Minister. So, look, being a parliamentarian is a privilege. We're all grateful just to be parliamentarians. They will continue to make really important contributions, I have no doubt. David
Littleproud said today it's all about generational change. Barnaby Joyce has pointed out that he's actually younger than you, for example. That's his words, that they're not my words. So, I mean, is it just simply a case now of bad blood? And especially you've got Barnaby Joyce, the likes of Matt Canavan, who are going to be really agitating for that net zero 2050 target to be dropped.
Well, look, again, David has his reasons and he has said why he did this. And as I said, the two people that are replacing Michael and Barnaby are quite, a lot newer entrants to Parliament. And so that was the reason that David said. So, look, they're going to be exciting people into their new positions. Look, Matt, is going to get his teeth into Net Zero 2050 and the review process that we do into that. And I'm looking forward to that. And he'll make an amazing contribution to that process. So, again, just the fact you're a parliamentarian means there's a lot to do, a lot of committee work you can do as well, and having contribution to the parliamentary process and policy formulation process.
Just before we let you go, what's the pathway now? Is it time to just get back to business?
Yeah, look, I mean, we have had a bit of introspection over the last week and a half, which was probably necessary. But look, we have a lot to take up. This Labor government, and they're a Labor Greens government, as we know, while they have a bigger majority in the House of Reps, in the Senate, they still need the Greens to get everything through. So I think they are going to be a dangerous socialist government, even more so than last time, because there'll be a lot of hubris and arrogance about them this time. So we have to get our focus back on them and highlight what they're doing to the Australian public and the Australian community.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin Hogan, thank you very much for joining me on the show this evening. Really appreciate it.